Week number 2. Monday was Labor Day, and so for Intro to Computers, our first meeting this week was here. So 3 days last week, so this is day 4 of the class. In here, mostly we talk about software and hardware, talk a little more about the course, reviewed the outline, internet versus textbook, and assignments. Talked a little bit about my philosophy on assignments. We spent just a little bit of time on change, but we really didn't get much group work done. Talked a little bit about Project 1, due Thursday. Friday, we're meeting over in the STEM wing, McAllister Hall 159. They call it a sandbox learning environment. So we're going to meet there in order to do the unit wrap-up for Unit 1. Okay, so let's take a look here. Two major types of software we're going to talk about. System software and applications. Okay, 2 major types. The other topic today is hardware. Okay, so system software we're going to split into 2 parts. The operating system and utilities. The operating system is what communicates directly with the hardware. We listed some operating systems: Linux, Windows, Mac OS, Unix. Those primarily desktops and laptops. And we could have listed iOS on like Apple phones or Android, see if I can spell it right, on tablets, small computers, so forth. And there are other operating systems that communicate with the hardware on any computing device. Okay? Then another thing we have utilities like File Explorer, virus software, software that runs in your computer but is mainly deals with the system, running the system, making it work. Then we have applications. These are what the users like. Users use. Sounds funny. So applications are all the software that the user works with. That can be Microsoft Office, it can be Adobe, it could be games, it could be the software here at the college like the LMS, or everything that the user looks at tends to be considered an application. The application, believe it or not, communicates with the operating system, which communicates with the hardware. You'll hear that again before the podcast is over, or my video podcast. Now, software, let's go down here. Software can be divided up into 2 general categories. It can be what we call horizontal, which means horizontal. Think of it flat. So it can be used over many industries. Microsoft Office can be used by many different companies. Adobe package can be used by many different companies. Web browsers are used by all kinds of companies. Gaming, there's QuickBooks, I don't know, you could name all kinds of software that can work within many different environments. Vertical software, sometimes they refer to this like in a silo. Vertical software works with just one industry. Okay? Just one industry, like the education industry, or a certain kind of software in manufacturing of cars, or a certain kind of software that's only used for accounting. Okay? Well, that wouldn't be a very good example because lots of businesses have accounting, but certain particular software that runs for an industry. We looked at Web Advisor here at the college, designed for higher ed educational systems. Alright, the software can be either proprietary, in which the property of the software is owned by a company and they will lease it to you, typically for a cost. And you can't go in and change it. They own it. You can't reuse it unless you pay them for the usage of it. Open source is software that can be freely distributed. In fact, in a lot of cases, you can adjust the software and redistribute it. And this is typically free. Proprietary typically has a cost with it. Alright, hardware. So, key thing in hardware is the processor. I'm just drawing it like this device right here. We'll look in some computers in Unit 3. Then we have memory modules right here, in which memory stores the software that's currently being used by the processor. Then we can take that information from memory and put it out into storage. Store it on a hard drive or on an optical drive, a DVD. Okay? And within here we have this electronic bus in which it moves the information around. We have ports for input and output. Send information in, get it out. Type on a keyboard, see the results on a monitor. Alright. Now, in some mobile devices, you know, like your phone or your tablet, they typically have these organized together in something called flash memory, which we learn more about later on. Okay? Now, this is really important for understanding technology. You have the hardware. What communicates with the hardware is the operating system. Typically, in all devices, your phone has an operating system, tablets, cars, tractors, you know, anything that does computing has hardware, and an operating system communicates with that. And then your application communicates with the operating system. That's why certain applications are designed to run on certain operating systems. Okay? So if you buy Microsoft Office, you have to get the product that runs on your operating system, whether it's a Mac or whether it's a Windows machine. And then who communicates with the app? The users. And in this class, you're going to become more of an expert so you understand a little bit more about all these levels. A little more about apps, a little more about the OS, and a little more about hardware. Alright, to finish up here, we talked a little bit about the outline, and the students went through advantages and disadvantages of using the internet or a textbook. You know, they talked about the internet being up to date, lots of resources, study in depth the topic you're interested in. Textbook, the source has been checked and tested, it's handy to have it in hand, and so forth. Talked a little bit about assignments, the option to do the basic assignments. You read the objectives and then you can decide if you're going to do the assignment or not. I encourage everybody to do the assignments because typically there's something in there you don't know or you have confused. You think you understand it, but you may not. This covers more of the theory of the class. This covers more of the skills that you need to know from the class. That's it.